going on, YouTube? We're back here with another episode of TeamWatch. I am your host, Big Himex, and I'm joined today by Goatpounder.
How's it going?
Yeah. So Goatpounder, starting off, how did you get mixed up in AG community? Because most people know that you are one of the artists to go to when people want team logos, or you're doing a lot of artwork for AG. Like, how did this all start?
Well, for me, if I wanted to start way back to when I got Overwatch, when Overwatch was still in beta, I downloaded it, tried it out for a couple days, and I made a post on Reddit saying pretty much like I enjoyed everyone's posting about their experiences and whatnot. And I remember being Tracer and luring a Reinhardt on Nepal off the side of the map because he charged me and I just recalled and I don't know, I thought it was a really good experience and I figured I'd post it to Reddit like everyone else. And I told everyone just to pretty much like have fun when it comes out. I'll join them, later on whenever because I was between jobs at the moment, whenever I can get the game. And I actually ended up getting a message from someone. They didn't specify who they were, who they worked for, who they were as a person or anything. They just said, they left a comment saying, "How can I gift someone Overwatch for when it comes out?" And I don't know, there's just a comment chain of people saying how different ways you can gift Overwatch to other people.
Yeah.
And he ended up sending me a message with a code to use to pre-order Overwatch. So I thought that was really nice. And so actually, yeah. So for like the 2 weeks that we didn't have Overwatch, or week, or however many days it was, used the code, it worked, had it pre-ordered, so it was really nice of him. And the name escapes me because it's been over a year and a half, or well, over a year really,
It was
in a
Secret
few
Agent
months.
Kaplan.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. I wish, who knows, maybe they were for Blizzard. I know a lot of other people got it for free around the same time, so I don't know if they're just giving out codes or what. But I ended up, that's how I got Overwatch. And for me paying it back, I just bought a whole bunch of loot boxes every event because it's kind of my way of paying back someone paying for Overwatch for me.
Yeah.
So whenever
I can
an
see
event
that,
comes out,
yeah.
yeah, I just make sure to buy like at least $20 worth of loot boxes, which I didn't for this last one, but that's because I didn't need to this time. So when season 1 came around, back when there was no hero limit on competitive, everyone was going Torb,
I
Saryas,
remember those
whatever.
evil days, the days of
Yeah.
darkness.
Oh yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend, right?
Yeah.
But during that time period, I think it was the end of season 1. Um, Diamond Boy, who is actually amateur gamer, I was in one of his first matches because I remember I was in just playing around, and this guy was on the mic and he was cool to talk to. He said he was new and wanted to just get better. He was using Farah, and I remember talking to him and thought he was pretty cool because at this time I just got a PS4. I didn't really have friends on PS4, so I started adding people.
Yeah.
And so I sent him a friend request, and we didn't really play after that at all. And I remember because he was one of the first people I met, and I remember just thinking to myself, this guy's still new. He doesn't know what he's doing, so I'm just gonna wait a while and see where he goes in a couple seasons and see where he gets placed, or if he ever invites me, I'll be down to play.
And you
And
said
so,
Diamond Boy is amateur gamer. That was
yeah,
his PSN before.
yeah, that was his old PSN before he started doing tournaments and streaming and everything. Um, and so that's how I met him. And he ended up messaging me around season 3 and said, "Hey, I'm doing tournaments. Do you want to be a part of one? I'd like to see you in one." And so I checked his profile and I was like, whoa, this guy is a master. And I never would have thought he would have kept with it. He was one of the ones that I do remember talking to in the beginning, but I didn't think he was going to stick with Overwatch or,
Oh yeah, like the people that
really.
leave early on or get bored of it or something.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was kind of blown away because at this point, this is like when everyone was getting around to the point where season 3 was everyone goal was to get to plat and diamond season 2 because it was new, and then now is everyone wants to get to master.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so to my surprise he was, and so I was like, okay, like I'll definitely do one. And him and I were talking about it for a while. He kept asking me to make a team and everything, and I just didn't have the right teammates really I had the right friends. It's just no one wanted to commit to a tournament. So eventually I was like, can I just join a tournament with just me? And he was like, yeah, sure. We'll put you in the boys and girls tournament, which if you go back on YouTube, it's one of like I think the first ones with a
Yeah,
thumbnail really.
he's got it pinned, I think, as
Yeah.
one of the things, yeah.
Yeah, and so I remember I was like, okay, cool. I need if everyone's this high of a level as he is, I need to step up my game a little bit. So I went on to the boys and girls team. I was on the boys team with Angel Gunner, and they didn't really know who I was or anything, but I guess they were hoping I was decent. And I was really getting into competitive Overwatch at the time, and I was like, I remember playing as Soldier, but this person on the other team, Hannah, I don't know if you know who Hannah is. She's a Farah. She was on the girls team.
Huh, no, I haven't heard of her.
Yeah, she was, I don't know if she still does tournaments, but she was a really good Farah. She completely wrecked our team, and I couldn't do anything as Soldier during that tournament. I remember our entire team died, so I jumped off the back of Ilios on Lighthouse. And so I jumped off the side of the map thinking I was making a pro move, but I didn't realize my team was already pretty much there, already on the way back.
Oh.
So I remember the broadcast, they were just laughing because I made a really dumb mistake, probably. And after that, I talked to Mr. Gamer afterwards, and I was just like, hey man, thanks for letting me be a part of it. It's actually pretty fun. I like the narrating and everything. So I told him, until I make a team, I can help you do your YouTube thumbnails. And so for a while there, I was doing the YouTube thumbnails for him. I remember he was really wanting to do it himself, and he wanted me to teach him at some point, which I just did recently. So I'm not doing them anymore for him. But that was kind of my thing, was doing the thumbnails for them and like just doing the artwork, because I made a team logo before I even had a team. And I told other teams I can make one for them. So I got a lot of requests about it. Remember, I was just so backed up that I couldn't get to everyone's logos, really. I told people that I could and never got back to them because I was just so backed up that I'm still backed up. I still got like 6 more to do at the moment.
Damn.
Yeah, and eventually he was just like, I think you should put a team together, because he was putting together AG Rookies back when AG Rookies was the thing. Back when he was coaching his own team. And so I put together Velocity through just pretty much all of them except for 2 were all friends I already had on Overwatch. All of them I knew who would work well together. I didn't ask that many people to be a part of my team at the beginning. I just thought of people that I played with regularly that would play well together, and it worked. And on my team, that's Fatty Magoo, Sneaky, Captain Crunch, West Nile Virus, Shrimp Fried Rick, Reborn Soldier. I believe that is it. I don't want to sit here. I'm pretty positive that's it. So
you guys call him Shrimp Fried Rick instead of Rice, like, even though there's no E there? Like,
he couldn't put an E on the end. It was too long, apparently.
Wow.
So his name's their names. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't care. I mean, there's Wes, who is West Nile Virus. There's Ken, who's Sneaky. There's Jonathan, who's Captain Crunch. Josh, who's Shrimp. Matt, who's Fatty Magoo, and Dario, who's Reborn Soldier. And we actually found Reborn Soldier in comp. He was destroying the entire enemy team as Reinhardt and just screaming. I have an entire YouTube video on my channel about it, where he was just screaming into the mic, saying "flex" on them, and just like flexing as Reinhardt's emote, and pretty much just like getting everyone hyped up. So he's always been like the hype one of the group.
That's awesome.
And
it always seems like the Reinhardt's the one that's like the most like enthusiastic. Everything, like you got Skittle like yelling out everything and just
it's good.
I love me some Reinhardt.
It's good. When you find a Reinhardt that likes to take advantage of being Reinhardt, that's how you know he's gonna be good.
Oh,
So I actually found West Nile Virus on comp as well, right after Reborn, right before we did a tournament. He was a Zenyatta, and he was just killing it as Zenyatta. And we asked, and we needed another healer because it was either going to be me and Shrimp or Shrimp and someone else, and we didn't have another one. So our team wanted me to go DPS instead of heals, and instead of support, I mean. And so we thought he would work out. He liked playing Lucio, he liked playing Zenyatta, and Shrimp likes playing Mercy, so that worked out for us. And so in our first tournament, we ran all Symmetra comps pretty much. We built all of our comps around Symmetra. And I remember
And thus the
we made it to
stereotype
the
was born.
oh yeah. Yeah, the stereotype. We get shit on a lot for it. So not really shit on. We actually it's just more of they, it's a running joke now if people run sim comps.
It's like, oh, look, there goes velocity.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Our biggest weakness though was dive comps and pharmacy, which at the end of the finals of every tournament, pretty much both teams ran that, I would say.
Mhm.
And I think that was our biggest weakness. I remember when we made to the semifinals, our first tournament, we went against Skybound Thunder, and uh, they had Blue Ninja on their team, which
Oh, really?
yeah, he's really good Pharah. He completely destroyed us. That's when we realized pharmacy was our weakness. None of us are good at taking out Pharahs, I guess.
Yeah, I found
And
that
this,
weakness too.
yep, yep. So yeah, we played against you guys in the finals. That was our next tournament was against Yin and Yang,
That was
and we
also
went to the
actually our second
finals.
tournament.
Yeah,
Too. That was crazy.
and I liked it. I mean, I had fun. I just didn't play the last round because we have a roster of 7, and I wanted our team to. I just figured, um, afterwards we
Give them
discussed it,
time to
saying that
advance.
I'm team. Yeah, yeah, because they know how everyone plays together, and I felt bad kicking everyone out. So, because this was just a day that everyone was there, so I was switching them out every other match pretty much until we got to the finals,
Yeah.
and everyone pretty much made a round, like switched in and out of the team except for me, and I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna, let you guys do this on your own, and they're like, you're a team captain, you can't do that, and I was like, uh, no, it's just a tournament. I want you guys to see what it's like if I just so happen to can't make it to a tournament. So, I remember sitting back and I remember we didn't have a coach at the time, so I just wanted to see how they worked without a team leader. And I didn't realize at the time that if I'm not on the team, no one really knew who played well or who played what well enough to really make a composition because I was always the one that told them the compositions. So they kind of lost a little bit of that. But luckily, Reborn's a really good shot caller, and Wes is pretty good about picking compositions for people too.
Yeah.
Um,
If I remember correctly, like it wasn't the you didn't show up or didn't participate in the match in the semifinals as well. I think first, and I
yeah,
think that's when like I was like, oh, he's not playing for this round, maybe he'll play for the finals. I think I
yeah.
remember that one.
I really just sat back. That was the tournament where I played the first I think 1 or 2 matches, and then the next 2 I sat out because it was getting to the point where we really needed to work on our compositions and scrimmages and stuff, and I just wanted to sit back and review and also let them have fun because I didn't think I was going to go. I wanted them to get used to me not being there this tournament so they could be ready for the next one. And I was thinking like, oh man, this could have been a bad idea. But they won the one before you guys.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So they did good
okay, they'll be
themselves,
fine.
too.
They're just weak against, I mean, our entire team, not just them, but me as well. Just dive, pharmacy, and tracers who can get behind us and wreck us, such
Yeah.
as Fake Napkin.
Fake Napkin is one of those players that I met, and like he wasn't even like that big into Tracer too. Like I convinced him, like remember we were like back in like season 1 where you used to play a lot of Tracer, you should play again. And he's like, all right. And then like he loves outthinking his opponents. And I think Tracer can,
Yeah.
if you're really good at knowing like, oh, you're gonna shoot left, so I'm gonna blink right or whatever, or do that. But
Yeah.
he's really crazy on that.
I remember talking to you guys afterwards in the because they had the final
interview?
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interview. And I remember talking to you guys, and it was really cool because our teams kind of came together similar, and it was also both of our second tournaments, which was really fun.
Yeah.
I was really just I don't know, I'm thankful for them. Like they're a great team. Currently, we have a lot of them on hiatus. The only people that are playing regularly at the moment is Fed Magoo, us now sometimes. But Reborn's back at school. Sneaky has to get caught up on work. Captain has to get caught up on work. Even Fatty works at times, and I started my job. But luckily, I still, I tend to still make time for video games, even
Oh,
when I
oh yeah.
shouldn't. So there's always
Uh,
that. So we're actually, I mean, we're not on hiatus, we're not broken up or anything. They actually want to do a tournament again soon. It's just a matter of getting everyone back into it. And Destiny 2 coming out, everyone kind of is playing that at the moment.
oh yeah, no, I've even put so much crazy hours. Like, I'm like I have to for the stream to work so they can hear you. I have to be in some kind of game, because I'm streaming it to YouTube, which in turn gets put
Yeah,
into an audio file.
yeah,
And I'm just in the Destiny loading screen, just chilling.
yeah.
But what
That's
I
why
was,
I have Overwatch up just messing around on skirmish by myself,
oh yeah,
just because.
that's the thing. Like, no, it's gonna be cool seeing you guys back, but Yin and Yang is just we're just done. Like, we had
Yeah,
so many complications, and like I think I was really taking the whole thing really seriously, and that was a thing that um didn't sit well with the other players. I think because they're like, hey, we're doing this for fun. They're like, yeah, I know we're doing it for fun, but I wanted to take it to a competitive like esport level, and they didn't want that.
yeah.
And then we just ended up going different things. Like I'm on the roster of Skybound Lightning now. Like what? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and that's really cool because I always wanted to take it seriously. I wanted to be on the esport level. I mean, I
Yeah.
was serious about it, but it just, everyone has lives. Everyone, has other things they want to put forward, which I get. Like if I could make a career out of it, that'd be nice. But I have to switch over to PC. I feel like sometimes, and I know that other console teams like Prismatics and stuff are official esport teams. Um, but it's just I don't know. I would need to get better myself on console before I even thought about it. Um, but yeah, that's what I really wanted to do was get to a esporting, like, make a name for ourselves and put ourselves out there, such as Skybound did.
Yeah.
IGHM pretty much did. I know that they're on a little bit of a hiatus as well. I talked to Plague Influence, the captain of their team, a lot, actually.
No, yeah, so
I
far.
remember, yeah, and uh, him, Alloy, myself, and three others want to do a tournament while our teams are taking care of their lives and doing whatever. We just want to do like a tournament together, just to see how it goes, just have fun.
Hmm.
Um, and I actually had a second team for a while named Synergy. I know there's another Synergy on the tournaments way before that team, so it's not the same ones. These ones actually didn't end up participating in tournament. I remember we had so many subs and starters for Velocity that we just were like, "Do you guys want to make your own team?" And so we did that, and it was really good. They were really decent. I was almost kind of afraid that they're gonna be better than myself and Velocity. I was kind of scared for a moment,
Hmm.
but one of the team members ended up becoming team captain, and then they just didn't know how to stay on top of managing a team or keeping in contact or setting up scrimmages, and they're just bad at getting back to people. So that kind of fell through the floor. But I mean, I don't know. It was really cool, like having two different teams and so many people come together. Just like IGHM had IGKM, just like Skybound has Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really good having, more than just your team to keep each other motivated to like keep doing more, keep being professional, keep like working on whatever it is you need to work on.
Yeah.
So that's what I really liked about it.
No, that's pretty sick. Um, no, we've been through a lot. Like so there's so many changes. Um, what are your opinions on like some of the new teams coming in? Like, because every tournament we come in, or I don't know if you've kept up, but like there's always someone in the comments like, oh, how do I join this? And then we post a link, and it's just like an ever growing community, and it's really awesome how
Yeah,
like what this ended up being. Like we met so many new friends. Like I've met you, and like so many other people, and this is just crazy.
yeah. When I first joined, I remember after like the tournament with you guys, with Velocity against Yin and Yang, um, we met. I don't know if you know who Momo is. He's
Yes,
the
I know
Reaper main.
Momo. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a
Yeah.
while too, actually.
Yeah. Angel Gunner and I were in competitive. We got grouped up. We got queued up together somehow,
Oh,
and
randomly.
uh, yeah, and we were talking about tournaments, and Momo was like, "How do I join? I want to join tournaments if you guys do them. I think that'd be really cool to do." And so we're like, "Yeah, you can." Uh, like we gave him like the Discord, how to do it and everything, and he ended up joining a few different teams. Because whenever you join a team as an individual, like we've had people try out for Velocity, people try out for HM, Skybound. It's not only about if you work for a team, it's about if that well, it's not really about what I want to say. I guess I want to say is it's not just about the team working with you, it's about you working with the team.
Hmm.
So it's not just, figuring out if you're right for them. It's about you thinking about if it's right for you. Like every team, you could be bad on one team but really good on another. So I
Yeah,
like seeing that. I like seeing people come in and like
it's
find their
really
place.
the synergy, like what teammates do you work well with, and like let's say
Yeah.
if you have like a super good Ryan main on one team, and then you have like a super good Lucio main, and they work well together because you can just speed boost and just swing your hammer around, and it just depends.
Yeah, it's all about synergy. I mean, that's how I feel about it because like there's teams like I know I wasn't gonna work well with, like that asked me if I wanted to sub for them. That I was just kind of like, like I could, but I don't know if it's gonna really gonna help. I played with you guys before, I don't know if it's right for me as much as you think it's right for you.
Yeah.
And like you just really gotta make that decision yourself when you're joining teams as like an individual. It's just finding what's right for you, find out who you're gonna have fun with. Some teams take it very seriously and are pretty strict about playing with each other.
Yeah, some.
Other teams, huh?
No, I was saying, yeah, some people are all about the rules, and they run like very like military-esque things when like
Yeah,
they come up for
exactly.
fun and whatnot.
You got to like have mandatory meetings, talks, scrimmages, everything like that. Like all that stuff's good and everything, but it's just about how your team works. Some people like that, some people don't. Some teams like to just casually do tournaments and, they don't even do scrimmages or practice really together. So, I mean, it's all about like what your team does. I remember we didn't have any scrimmages or practice when we made it to the semifinals our first tournament, and we did pretty well. And it worked out well enough to the point where we wanted to get more and more serious about it. I feel like getting more and more serious about something is really like what motivates your team to getting better.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
no, go ahead.
uh, I actually forgot what I was gonna say. I didn't think I had anything in mind. I was just making a noise for no reason.
No, it's all good. Um, what would you think if you had to make an all-star team to like all the different people around? Um, what would who would be on it and why? Really?
Oh man, that's actually pretty tough because I know for a fact I want uh Plague Influence on my team, of course. He doesn't really want to be playing Lucio lately, but him and I get along enough and play, very well together. And so I think having him on a team would be great. If I had to be on the team as well, so be it. As far as I'm trying to think of other tanks in Blue Ninja, of course, as a Pharah, because if he did that, I would stick to Mercy. Plague would stick to, Zen Lucio. I'm really trying to think of teams outside of just making a dive comp. Fake Matkin, I really would love on Tracer on my team as well. That way we have a flank and we have Pharah, which makes it hard for everyone else. And then I really want someone who's in your face as a tank. There's this guy I just added named Ollie Mark who is on his way to GM. He wants to do a tournament with Plague and I coming up, and he's a godly Winston, and I really want him on a team no matter what. And the last one is kind of hard to choose because I'd either want Air Slash as a Reaper or I would want Reborn as a second tank because Reborn always did really good as a tank. He always knew where to be and what to do. The thing about Reborn is you just got to watch out for him sometimes. He'll get himself into sticky situations. You get to come in and kind of take him out.
Yeah.
So I think with Pharah, Tracer, Winston backing that up with the Lucio, and then a Mercy or Zen, I think that would be a pretty good, all-star team.
No, that's pretty sick. No, I think be really interesting. They'll have some tough opponents to, but then that's the thing. Like if you have like all these amazing mains and they don't get to work well together, and then the team's gonna fall apart anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
that's what I mean. I'm thinking about like people who I get along with as well. That's another thing I took in consideration is I choose these people because I've played with them and talked to them, and I know what they're like, and I know how we play together, and we synergize well.
yeah,
Um, I say there's people where I think that they'd be even better choices, but I don't know if we'd be able to play well together
mm. Yeah, no, I can.
just from the synergy alone.
Yeah, that's always a huge factor.
Yeah.
Um, how did you even become to be like the artist? Like, did you just happen to know
Oh,
the applications, or you just always been like an artist kind of person, or artistic kind of
I've
person?
always been kind of just like an artist type of person. When I was younger, I would doodle all over everything. I'd get in trouble at school for drawing all over my papers. I remember like teachers would just toss out all my drawings. There were some pretty crappy teachers, but um, they would, I would overall just get in trouble for drawing so much and doodling so much that eventually, when I got to my teenage years, I just kind of stopped being all these different styles, and like I didn't really have a style of my own. That if I had an idea in mind, I knew that I could do it.
Hmm.
And I've always lacked the motivation to really make art for myself. I never cared about my art. I could make something and like something amazing just for me, and I would probably just throw it out because I don't know. I would always like working on art for people more than I like working on art for myself. And so when it came down to it, around the time the tournament started and I got into it, I was getting into digital, digital drawing, digital art,
Yeah.
just the whole digital media. And I took a couple of graphic design classes while I was in college, and I never put it to use. And
Mm.
so at this point, I made the first Velocity logo, and I was like, wow, I could really use this for a team if I ever made one. So I made one. I was like, hey guys, I got the perfect, idea already in mind. I already have a logo for us. And so I shared it with the community back when it was a little bit smaller in Discord. And
Hmm.
other teams messaged me and were like, hey, uh, we know you do the YouTube thumbnails and we know you have a team logo. Would you mind making us one?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to think of the first one I ever made was Cookie Crisps. I don't know if they're still in tournaments or not. I haven't seen them in a while.
I have never
Um,
heard of that team.
yeah,
So
it was in our
probably
first
not.
tournament, I believe. They were there for a second. I don't know whatever happened to them, but I put a lot of time into the logo. And then it was the Iron Fist, I believe, or there's all these teams that came in and asked for logos that I did because it motivated me to work on my art more and to like get better at just overall doing logos and stuff. Just made me feel good about my art and knowing that teams were going to use it.
Hmm.
And so I did all these logos to begin with, only for all those teams to kind of disappear. So I kind of felt bad about it, but I'm glad I got the work done. That way I can like put something in my portfolio and I can actually get serious about working on my art because I never used Photoshop or anything at first. I was doing everything with like the bare bones, free to use programs, and I remember pushing it to like the limits of how good it can get, which is why the first Velocity logo looks more hand drawn than the new one.
Yeah.
Um, Same for all my other old logos. And then IGHM, I took a break on making logos for a while because there's just too many, and I was like, guys, I gotta, work on these before I can work on others. And I remember IGHM made theirs, and they posted it to the chat, or I made it for them, and then they posted it to the chat, and all of a sudden I got all this huge influx of people PMing me asking me for logos. And a lot of people ask me for personal logos. I don't do personal logos just because I want to make it for one person and it not really be used. I want to do it for like I was doing free art for these teams because there's a better chance, it motivated my team to be, to work together and be serious about it with having a logo. And I want that for other teams. I want other teams to be excited that they made a name for themselves and that they have a logo to show like who they are. It
Hmm.
kind of gets you motivated. Like I know Yin and Yang asked me for a logo a few times. I never got back to you on that because I was so backed up. I'm still backed
Yeah.
up. Even if I did want to work on your guys's, I still have six more ahead
Yeah.
of everyone else. And so Um, Pretty much, it motivated me to work on my art again and to get serious about it. I got Photoshop, Illustrator now. Recently, I redid the Velocity logo and made it more esporty like.
Hmm.
And so I think it's just that's why I do it for free and for fun for now. For at least for this community only. I only do it for AG and for like teams that have been in tournaments consistently.
Yeah.
Um, I'm starting to get more serious about like who I'm making logos for and who I'm doing art for. Um, so I don't know, it's just a good experience for me to like be a part of the community to, make YouTube thumbnails because I have my own channel, so it gives me practice on my own. Like helping AG wherever he needs help with like any logo work. I sat down with him for a night and I taught him, how to make how I taught him my way of making his YouTube thumbnails because there's a certain style used for him only.
Hmm.
And just so I don't want to sit there and use the same thing for everyone or for myself. So I sat down with him for a night, one of these nights, and we had like a 4 hour long thing of just me showing him how to make his own, and he's really good at it. He picked it up real easily, and so I'm
Oh,
glad
nice.
that I was able to help someone else do something, and so
That's
that
pretty
really
cool.
motivates me. Yeah, so that really motivates me to like work on my art, and why I became kind of like the guy who everyone went to for logos and whatnot. I don't know. I just feel like
So
I
you
have a
teach a
few
man to
classes.
fish, feed him for a lifetime, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I like about it is just overall, you know, like if I can help another team or other people be serious about esports and get serious about, being in the tournaments and hyping them up for it, that's what I want to do. I want to help, create that. I want to help grow the community. And I feel like that really helps other teams.
No, that's definitely a great part of. Like I'm trying to figure out like cool words to say. No, that's cool things you're doing
Oh
there
no,
though.
that's okay. Yeah. It's
um,
I don't know. It's been like it hasn't really been a hectic ride, but it's been like a learning experience for more than just, amateur gamer. It's a learning experience for everyone that joins a tournament. Like when you join a tournament, I'm sure like you learned a lot. Um, when I started doing tournaments, I realized quickly that it's not like competitive. Teams don't communicate as well as they do when they're in tournaments when they're competitive. So that's what I realized a lot was it's more than just, for
yeah,
me,
like
more than making art
you have
and
like
all
all
that good
this
stuff.
this level of stuff. Like you have just like quick play, then you have competitive, then you have tournaments when people really
Yeah,
go hard and you know the people and everyone's talking and
yeah.
everyone's doing their best.
Take it a lot more seriously than they take competitive. And
Hmm.
like whether there's prizes or not, like you just want to try to beat teams. Like, that's what part of having a community is so good. You get to communicate with the other teams and like you learn their strats. I remember I took our composition near the end changed a lot because I took IGHM's Ryan Bullet on Eichenwald. I don't know if you know what that comp is.
Brian Bullet, the one where you speed boost the charging and Ryan through with the Reaper and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and with the Zarya bubbling him, we did that. Vivi was with us in competitive and taught us it. And she was, if we performed it, we took the point in like 40 seconds, if that.
Easy.
And so we ended up sticking with that comp. And I learned in our first tournament, when we got to semifinals against Skybound Thunder back when S-Dog was their captain. Um, they had a comp. Their comp was weird. I said they had Blue Ninja, but they also had a Orisa main, a Diva main, S Dog. Okay, so let me just explain real fast what happened with that tournament. In On control points and on Dorado. Dorado's our best map, but they wrecked us on it. They would put the Orisa shield up, Diva behind the Orisa to help make the shield last longer with the defense matrix, and S Dog would be healing those two in the back while Blue Ninja and a Mercy were in the sky. And I think they had a flanker. Can't remember if it was Tracer. I think they were just switching a lot. I think it might have been a Reaper. Um, but they just fortified themselves really well for defending. And since we're bad at taking out Pharmacy, we couldn't really concentrate on their Orisa and Diva, let alone get around them without S-Dog putting us to sleep or any of that. And it was just such a good defense that I ended up stealing it and well, stealing, copying, whatever you want to call it, and using it for ourselves. So we had the Rhyme Bullet, we had the Orisa Diva combo, we had
Adopting.
Symmetra.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
adopt the strat.
Adopting's good. Yeah, adopting, inheriting. We inherited IGHM's Grand Bullet. We adopted, Skybound Thunder's Orisa Diva.
Ah,
Um, it was just overall, we adopted so many different things, but our team wasn't concentrating on who we needed to uh, main as because our team flexed so much for these comps that we didn't have roles really set well enough. And that's something I learned when Beltron and Megan Mulani became Velocity's coaches. Um, they told us, you're flexing way too hard because for me, we had Captain Crunch who he was a Hanzo, Sombra, Symmetra, and Diva, and I know that he would so that's flexing pretty much every role for the most part,
yeah.
and so I would flex with him at times because some of the comps we had didn't work as well as other ones we did, and we never really stuck to one thing. We always wanted to adapt to the enemy team, and I feel like that's where like our third weakness is. It's just we were flexing way too much and not concentrating on what we just needed to get better on. And so, I don't know. With us being on hiatus, we never got a chance to really work on it. But if everyone gets back in, I mean, if everyone comes back around the same time, I really want to sit down with them and, get back into it.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, it's so good though. This season, so far, I went 18 and 0 with these other guys that Plague and I are going to group up with Alloy and the Ollie guy, the Winston I talked about earlier. And there's another guy named Crave who's like an Air Slash Reaper. I don't know if he's exactly on par with Air Slash, but he's still it's like a baby Air Slash, so it's
I
nice.
don't know. There are a lot of people I think in the community who can get up to that air slash level. Like air slash is really good, but it's because of like plagues, like speed boosts, and like the teamwork is
Yeah,
really good. Like I don't know
we
if you've seen Winnie High Juniors play, but Lion Claw I think is a really good match for his Reaper.
yeah, that's well, our team we scrimmed against IGHM because Plague would he was willing to help me out with my team, and he reached out to me, and I reached out to him,
Hmm.
and we set up a scrimmage, and they completely destroyed us. And like, do you guys want to do Eichenwald? And so we did Eichenwald, and that's their best map that they didn't tell us. And we were already like, they were 2 and 0. We didn't win any of them on the scrimmages, and then we did Eichenwald, and that's when we realized the true fear of Air Slash because he murdered our entire team so much so on Eichenwald that we just never wanted to play against a Reaper again. We all made it was like an inside joke about how we woke up the next day and we were like, "So, did anyone else have nightmares about Air Slash?" And so,
And then I also felt the fury of air slash. He was actually the one that stopped us in our first tournament because we'd won the first round and then made it to the semifinals. Like I think it was like an 8-man tournament, and then we
mhm.
lost with air slash's crazy, like death blossoms always sneaking up. The only one that
Yeah,
really could repel him was our mercy maxi pads. It was just pretty
yeah.
funny.
And when I talked to Plague about it, like I would review their gameplay and like look at what they did because I always want to learn other teams' comps just to inherit and
Oh yeah, that's a
adopt
good
like any comps.
that's a good habit.
Yeah. And I'd realize that Plague on Lucio would follow, like, Air Slash doesn't initiate unless he has his Wraith form, because that's how he gets out. And
Yeah,
so they would boost him in, and he would Wraith out. And so it just always seemed like he was in Wraith form because he would come in every time he got it. And we realized that if you just kept your distance from Air Slash, it's really not that bad.
exactly.
But the hit with the speed boost, though, makes it hard because he's just speed boosted into your team. And then Rex and then Rake's out. I like the littlest bit of health left. And that's a
Yeah,
really good comp that they have going on. They all play together so much that I think I played everyone one on one except for Alloy that's on IGHM.
yeah,
And they all, they know their roles well and they know each other well. And that's how Velocity was at first too, before we started flexing a lot was, every team needs to learn their roles. As much as you want to flex at times, sometimes it's better not to flex and just stick with it and see where it goes. And that's
yeah,
what IGHM does. They all have like one or two characters that they play. Whereas my team roster, when I send it to the coaches, they're like, "Why do you have 5 to 6 people listed as your mains? You should only have like one or two,
yeah.
and or at least like practicing one or two." And that's what I ended up doing in our last tournament as Junkrat. I just kind of just stuck with Junkrat, and I made it to the top 250 Junkrats at the end of last season.
Nice, dude.
Um, appreciate it. And I don't know, I he was my first main in season one, and I really want to go back to supporting mains. Um, but I started just to bunker down on like one character until I knew that I was, overly decent with them, if not advantageous than
Yeah.
most people with them.
So I
So I feel like,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I feel like I'm learning Lucio. I mean, I can play Mercy very well if I want to. It's just I never really play her just because for some reason lately there's been a lot of support mains who want to go support, so I haven't really practiced it too much. And Junkrat, so I don't know. It's just like with Ignak and Air Slash, anyone that mains someone in a tournament, they know what they're doing. And I feel like
Uh-huh.
that's what every team needs to get to for each one of their roles.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. No, when you were talking about like the top 250 Junkrats, that's pretty impressive. The best I ever got with that was I was number 60 for Zenyatta. Like just flat out number 60.
That's good.
I was like, "Oh my gosh." But then yeah, it's dropped since then. I'm like 128 or something like that now. I haven't checked in a
Yeah,
while.
I just got on Overwatch and I realized that my decay already kicked in somehow, and I haven't, and I played like a couple days ago, which I mean, that's
There's
like it
like
carries over to your rank too,
yeah, there's like some
because
new like system because like it's like every you decay after not playing for a week and you have to play seven
7 games.
games in a week. So you basically have to like play like one game a day to keep from decaying.
Yeah,
One
it's
game
kind
a
of
day keeps you
frustrating,
decayed.
but yeah, it's kind of frustrating, but that's how it is with knowing your rank on Overbuff too, is because if you don't play like I didn't play Junkrat. Let's see, I got to like 800 something, and I was like, I need to get to the top 500. So I got to the top 500, and I was like, man, I don't think my Junkrat's good enough to really get, lower than.
Oh, you cut out there. Hello? Oh, um, looks like I am no longer in a party. Give me a few seconds. People on the podcast will get right back up. Just gotta get Goatpounder in. There we go.
There we go.
That was really
So what
weird. I'm
happened?
just kicking off.
Yeah.
Where were
They said I
you?
was party owner. I was,
What were you talking
oh,
about? Just about low, about trying to get lower into playing Junkrat, trying to get
oh,
lower than 250.
yeah. I just, I was luckily I grouped up with an Ana. His name's Kool-Aid. He's really good, and he helped me a lot to get to the top 100. I didn't tell him, or I mean, I didn't really care really at the time as much as I did after the fact. And he would just damage boost me as Junkrat every time he got damage boost. And I feel like I have him to thank for getting that far because like my damage went up, my kills went up because I was being damage boosted so much, so that I feel like my stats just kind of inflated from it. So thankfully I had that. I don't have him to thank for all of it, but it was for a good portion to getting to the top 250, I'm pretty sure. So that was nice. And then I saw off this season as Zarya 18 and 0 and got to number 30 Zarya, but I can't even take credit for it because
Damn.
it was like the first 2 days of comp, so no
Oh
one
yeah, that
really
they
did their
can't.
placements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a
No,
top
like
30 Zarya just
I
because of that.
even I'm checking my comp right now and everything's just like not ranked because I've played like just the placements and like
Yeah,
hardly
I haven't played
anything.
Junkrat this season, so I still need to play a little bit more. I've just been taking a break from Overwatch like everyone else is at the moment. It's the end of summer. Everyone's getting back into school, work, going on vacation, have his money saved up, so they're not playing too much. But I know that as soon as the fall comes around, everyone's going to be back in Overwatch and, doing a lot more tournaments and seeing a lot more new teams.
No, yeah, for sure. No, it's gonna be pretty sick indeed.
But
Um, so
how
go
did
over. Sorry, go ahead. If you have some.
I just say how did you end up getting into tournaments? How did you find out?
Well, I was see, I'm playing with like just my friends, just regular, like comp, like oh we'll get down for comp, and then uh I was hanging out with my friend Dirty and Dangerous, our Lucio main, or I guess, well, the team's Lucio main at the time. Uh, and a guy named Big Brown had ended up coming into the party and was like, "Hey, I want to try this tournament out." And I was like really confused. I'm like, how do you do it? And he's like, "No, it's just in the it's just like anyone can join." Because at first when he was talking about, it, I thought it was like a local event because I know local shops around here, like in the big town malls, like they have Overwatch
Yeah.
tournaments for people who want to join it, which I thought would be pretty cool. But without a team of six, that because I don't really know six Overwatch players in real life. I mean, I might know two, but
Yeah, it's
um,
hard, you know.
it's really hard. But anyway, he's like, no, it's just all online. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And then I asked him about it if I could join. He's like, yeah. And then I was like, well, I got all these other friends like Fake Napkin, Max Pads, and these guys, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll join. Um, that's how that started. And then we
That's really
ended
cool.
up joining a team. Like first, like the team name was like really weird because at first he wanted to call it like AP Gaming or something, which was really weird.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I guess we're that. And
Okay,
then
I actually I AP Gaming. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I knew someone in the community that had AP Gaming in the name.
so like, cause Big Brown was I guess the captain at the time because he was setting everything up, and
Yeah.
then he, and then like the day before the tournament he switched. He's like, okay, we're yin and yang now. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, I kind of liked it. It was kind of a like out of nowhere name, and I was like, huh. It was like just interesting. And we played the tournament.
Yeah.
We ended up losing, and then to IHM, those guys. But then they ended up losing to Secret Snack, which Secret Snack was just that was crazy. I don't know what happened to that team, but
Oh, yeah, you're right. I remember hearing about them, never played against them,
because they were in
but
the Amateur Gamer League too as well, and then they ended
yeah,
up dropping out. But
I remember that.
after that, like we like Big Brown signed us up for the next tournament because we wanted to try again because there was like a running joke on Overwatch or on our between our team anyway, but like every comp game we went to, we're like, hey, talking to the Blueberries, like, hey, you guys know we're semi-finalists, right? We're semi-finalists in the tournaments. It was just like
Yeah.
a funny, like, stupid brag. Um,
Yeah, that's what we did too, because I remember we had a humble brag being semifinalists our first tournament, the finalists the second one, so we kind of, you know, humble bragged
yeah,
around a bit.
that was crazy. But once like I kind of like with everyone doing everything like in the second tournament, I kind of assumed the role of captain. Like like Big Brown was still technically the captain with signing us up, but because like I knew the team well and I was like the guy who like watched all the your Overwatch videos and like learning all the strategies and was like really into it. And
Yeah.
we ended up making a whole bunch of team comps like the night before. Like I had because we were a really flexible team. Like we had that flexibility problem, I think, as well. Um, I was the night before. I was like, okay, these people on this role, and like it was like if this is a control map, then we're doing this. If it's a payload map, then we're doing this comp. If it's on attack, we're doing this comp. If we're defense, we're doing this comp. And then uh, it ended up working pretty well. And we ended up like I remember when we hit the semifinals, like okay, now we just gotta win the semifinals, and then we'll be good. And then we hit the final. We beat who I forgot who we beat in the semifinals, but they were a pretty tough team. They were. I remember them being really cocky too. Like they were just really like, we're gonna destroy you because we have this and this, and our dive comp is the best.
Oh
And I'm like,
yeah, it happens. Teams should talk each other all the time.
like we try not to bring that negativity, but we ended up
Yeah.
winning with Big Brown switching to Bastion to take out their Harambe that was giving us so much trouble, and the Harambe just didn't want to switch. Um,
Yeah, that's good.
and then we beat them in the semifinals because that was a really hard match. But we were so excited because like, yeah, we're already finalists. We can already tell people we're finalists, and then like the realization, like, hey, we can be in the interview because that was like the coolest thing for us. Like we really wanted to be interviewed about all
Yeah.
the team and whatnot. Um, and then we made it there, and then we fought you guys, and that was a great match. Um,
Yeah.
winning our first tournament, that was just pretty epic feeling.
Yeah.
I don't we
That's really
haven't been in
cool.
the tournament
Uh,
since. actually.
Yeah, we have not been in a tournament since that either, actually. So at
Like,
least we share that. That was our last
yeah,
tournament that we played in. The thing about our team not really playing, I think a lot of people got kind of just they felt a
discouraged.
little discouraged because not even discouraged because we lost. We actually had fun.
Yeah,
We have fun doing tournaments whether we win or lose. We always like working on ourselves. It was because it was before AG and his team implemented the no former master rule or 3700 and above rule because I feel like that was a big problem was people would sub in for some teams here and there and there would be a much higher rank than what was allowed to be and they didn't really know what to do about it, which I understand completely. Like on you don't have that many teams to begin with. You don't want to knock any teams out because otherwise it's just an easy tournament for some people. And so I understand why, like, at first they didn't have the rule, and we were just honestly waiting for that rule to be implemented. And by that point, everyone already went on hiatus. But luckily, they fixed it out now, so that way, it's not really a problem in the future. So I appreciate them doing that.
yeah. Now it's been that's pretty cool. Like the new what have you
Yeah.
did you see one of the last tournaments because there was a 3800 and below tournament. I don't know. Did you watch any of that at all?
No, no, I didn't watch it.
See, that new tournament kind of weird with me because um like you could have any kind of hero. Like you could have like top 500, like three top 500 people, but as long as you have like a platinum or something to bring your SR average down, then it could work. And I think
Mm.
people like Team Edge had those like that perfect team comp where their average SR ended up being like 38-14, but because
Yeah.
like it was just that close enough, they just let it slide with that extra 15 SR. Um,
Yeah, and yeah,
which
that
is
was
really
like a
weird.
big issue.
But I'm not. I just. I think. I think the rules for AG tournaments need to be find a perfect sweet spot because sometimes there's always the possibility of Smurfs, and I've been on teams before where the way they look for Smurfs, you have to have your information out open so they can look at it. Because I
Yeah.
was playing with someone and they got accused of being a Smurf, even though like it didn't seem like she was giving that much, and she was like really sad about it, and she couldn't recover her password because um like she'd put a weird birthday or something when
Yeah.
she'd set it up or something weird. Um, but it was like I just think the rules need like to be analyzed perfect
I
so
just think
everything is
that,
fair, and
yeah,
it's really
I
hard.
understand their reason for Smurf Police because,
Oh, I can
yeah,
understand.
like you gotta
You
make,
want to keep things fair
yeah,
too to everyone,
yeah,
make sure
exactly,
everyone
and like I
understands.
get like it's a step in the right direction as well because it's something like you said they needed, to find the perfect sweet spot, and a big thing was, I don't know, I figured that something that they should do is just, if you're participating in the Master and Above tournaments and you win that tournament, you shouldn't be able to participate in the Diamond and Below after that.
See, that's exactly my thought too because well, it wasn't exactly like that. Like when we won our this is kind of where our team kind of started like being like rocky was once we won the Diamond and Below tournament. Um we were automatically invited to participate in the Masters I don't know if it was the Masters and Above or Diamond and Masters, but after that our team wanted to go back to the Diamond and Below tournament and with
Yeah,
everyone because like most of the Diamond and Below tournament, like Napkin and Maxi, they were masters that had dropped out of masters, but I think that was due to like just poor like teammates or something. Because the way they played, I could tell like these guys are master material. Like, and I
yeah,
personally like because I was signing us up for everything. I did not want us to compete in a Diamond Under because I wanted to have everyone have fun. Like I want other teams to get a chance
yeah,
to try to win
exactly.
the
Same
Diamond
for
Under
us.
tournament. Like if you look at it now, like Maxi Pads is like reached like 3900 and is about to like hit GM. I don't know if she hit GM last season. I
Yeah,
actually haven't talked to her in a while, just because like we were mostly struggling because the first debate happened, like everyone was getting mad at each other, and well, it wasn't like everyone getting mad. It was like mostly me because I was like I guess holding this like trying to hold this integrity kind of thing And then like everyone's like, well, we're just trying to have fun, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, and it was just a huge argument. It's one of those like weird gut feelings that you just feel like the arguing, like it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Um, and then we got over that. We started playing again. I don't think we played in another tournament. We entered the AG League mostly without. I mean, I think Fignac can play with us for one game, but after that he was just gone, and we had subs and subs and subs and kept losing, and it was just bad for us, and we ended up dropping out because Maxi Pads and like the rest were just like trying to work around the schedule, and the subs, every time we got subs, like no one knew them really, because I would find them on here and there from comp or whatnot, and it was just not fun for them. And I
Yeah.
think I like it looked bad though because we'd played like 4 or 5 or maybe it was just 4 like AGL League season matches, and we ended up losing all of them. Like we got
Yeah.
2-0
That's the
like
thing with like AGL League too was we were invited, Amateur invited me to go with my team because, like consistent teams are nice. And I knew that uh like as much as my team wanted to, I knew that a lot of them wouldn't be able to consistently make the dates.
yeah,
Just something
we
may
had to
pop
fight.
up and they would have subs and it just wouldn't be a good thing. Like regardless of us getting our, butts kicked or not, like it just didn't work out for everyone's schedules. And I knew, and it's a good thing I said I pulled us out at the last second because everyone did end up, having stuff come up. And I was
I think I
moving,
remember
other
that.
people were
Yeah,
moving. Yeah, so we weren't able to stick with it.
yeah, no, it was tough.
But I don't know. I
Um,
think the AGL league was a good thing. It's a good,
no, it's
get your
pretty.
feet in
It
the
was
water.
awesome. Like as a like personally, I might just start moving into a caster only direction. Like I might just stop playing. Depending on this, I probably sub in here and there, but like
Yeah,
casting is really where my passion's at right now. Like when I got into casting, because I
yeah,
think our first tournament, like it was so cool hearing the caster like talk about you, like, oh, this is so cool, and this
yeah.
guy you could
I
tank
think
me, and
casters are, yeah, that's what everyone looks forward to because casters, it's nice hearing them talk about your team. That's always a good feeling. And then also you're able to you're like our team, we took a lot of advice from the casters where they're
that's the
like, that
same
was a
thing
bad
for us.
alt or this should
Yeah.
be moving here,
Like
you
because
know?
once you start casting, like you have this overall view, and you can clearly see like, oh, this person is alone, and they died alone, and that's why the team fight swung the
Yeah,
way of the other team. And it like becoming a caster, like I think that really improved my game sense. And I don't know if it was coincidence, but I actually finally hit masters last season. Um, after like so many seasons of just being in diamond, and I don't know if that was because my casting game sense was just up or anything. I don't know. Um,
yeah,
but it's casters do bring like this level of entertainment. Like if the cather if the caster is enthusiastic about things, then it's like, oh, this is awesome, and that's what I try to
yeah,
bring to the table personally. I think AG likes my casting, like because
yeah. There's
how it went.
certain,
I had
yeah,
like or I was trying to cast a scrim, because that's how you go. Like you have to send some kind of video of them casting, and they debate on what you want to play. But I kind of intruded once because Playmate was casting, I think, a scrim, and I just kind of like joined the thing, and they're like, "Oh, cast," and then Element, when we kind of three-way cast, was kind of weird. But then I ended up like, because with 3 casters it was kind of hectic, and it's kind of hard to see. And then I ended up casting a I don't know if it was a tournament or something, um, but I was casting there, and I have this kind of way. It could be a bad habit, but I like take kind of control of main caster maybe without knowing it. Like I just start spouting facts like, oh, the McCree takes this, and that dies to
yeah,
this, and Diva Bond's coming out, and like the excitement. Like I would honestly get excited for like crazy big ults and things, and then uh, I think Amateur Gamer like immediately. It was so cool because my name was in like the subcaster category. It was like bright orange, and then like
yeah,
immediately after that tournament, he just like put it to like main caster, and I was like so happy. I was like, yes, this is awesome.
yeah.
This is so cool.
That's that's what, our team really liked about casters and you know, we had our favorites for casters. I'm not gonna say any names, of course, but there was casters who were good at what they did. They're excited. They gave information. They gave good advice, and they didn't take sides. And then there's
Some
casters where we're like, wow, one caster I remember for our tournaments, um, our first one was like, Velocity should have lost that match, even though we won against that team. They're like, we think that the other team should have won. And I was like, but they didn't.
I
Like, why
can
would you say that if
I
they
can
didn't?
understand the sentiment, but he has to have reasons. Like, let's say,
Yeah.
you control like the map, or like the other team controls the map the whole time, and like they're winning, and then but Velocity ends up taking the win. But how I would word it is
Yeah,
like
there's like those
Velocity
lucky instances.
should have lost that match. However, and then I would be like, Velocity did this right, they did this right, and
Yeah.
that's why they won. And
Yeah, and I get that.
that's how I wouldn't just leave it like, oh, this is they
Yeah.
should have just lost. I don't know why
For them, it was
they
like
like
we
that.
won like twice in a row, and it was like a pretty even match, both 99%. And then,
Yeah.
like we didn't like, but I mean, those casters are gone now, but there was just one that was being really biased.
Oh,
But we like it when
sorry, go ahead.
we like it. Okay, no worries. But we like casters who are enthusiastic. We like casters who are like you, like whenever you cast, we, give information, are very informative, talkative, know the team, know who they're talking about, are active in the community. Like those are the best kinds of casters like yourself. And then they got rid of, I mean, this is back when the tournaments first started, so they also didn't have casters who were actually casters. So like there was someone who was like a really low rank, like gold to like low platinum, who was uh they were casting a diamond and above tournament or diamond and below, I don't remember which one.
Just didn't really
And
know
they're
what they
like,
were talking about.
yeah, they're like, I don't know why Far is setting up over here, even though she just wiped the team with her entire ult. They're like, it seems like a bad move by Far to set herself up in that
Yeah.
position. And really, it was like, oh my God, this guy just made a pro move. Like it's
Yeah,
just
and
a matter of
that's
casters knowing
that's one thing
those.
I'm scared of too, because I remember like after my first gig, everyone's like, I got an invitation to cast for one of Mega Mulani's like organization tournaments, and they were like top 500 like GM people, and then like I'm trying to give my opinion, but I'm like, I'm just like a mid diamond. I don't know if I'm gonna be given right information or wrong information, or why they're
Yeah,
doing this. Is like super nerve wracking for me. I
yeah,
think I ended up getting over it though, but I think I have some sense of game sense and what should be, shouldn't be.
yeah.
But
And like,
one of my biggest flaws, I think, is being biased. Because sometimes I'll just really love a team, and then without knowing it, like I'll be casting like, oh, Weenie Hut Juniors did this, that, and this person, and then like I kind of like, oh well, like because as a caster, I need to say everyone's names because everyone wants that recognition
yeah,
instead of just saying the McCree or the Reaper or whatever. Um,
yeah,
and I'll act, but then I'll try to like slip back in non-bias and just focus more on the other team and like what good they're doing, and it's like I have to be careful so I can entertain all and not give anyone not give everyone like the cold shoulder, I guess, of casting.
yeah.
It's really weird.
I understand that. Like that's when I've casted for AG, I think. I know for a fact once, maybe twice, way back in the day.
Oh,
Once recently
oh,
because VV couldn't, and I believe his roommate or the someone on the staff couldn't make it that was casting.
Angel
And
Gunner
so I
or
was,
yeah,
huh?
probably like Angel Gunner or Little Mitch, one of them.
Yeah, I think it was a little. It wasn't Angel, it was the other guy, who
Probably
normally
makes
does
sense.
casting. Yeah, and uh, I remember casting like I knew. I think Blue Angel was on one of the teams, and I knew, and I was talking like I like knowing the people, and I remember talking about that team because I knew the names, so I felt
Hmm.
like I was being, as a caster, you need to fill in here and there whenever things don't get silent, even though nothing's happening. So I was just talking about that team a lot, and I thought about it, and I was like, I need to start talking about the other team, even if I don't know them. Like I should be, watching them and
Yeah.
giving some more information on them since already know the other team. I felt like that was something that I learned kind of the hard way was just like, it's not that you're being biased, it's that you might not
You
know
don't know
much about
them.
the other team.
Yeah, that's another
Yeah.
like that's just like you can't like sometimes trying to form my words here. That's another thing. Trying to
No
form your
worries.
words is casting.
Oh yeah, I started
Being
a lot of mumble, so I get it.
unbiased when you clearly know one team and then you like have no idea what the other team is going. But then like I try to
Yeah,
bring an air like we have like I'll like talk like we've never seen this team play before. Let's see what they bring to the table today. And it looks like Mocha Blizzard 321 is going to be going Tracer today, and then this is what
yeah.
how he plays, and try to analyze them like that, and try to get to know them
We
more.
Yeah, I remember we messed up the casters a lot whenever we played because we would never choose our comp right away. We would just fake because we were afraid of people
Stream
stream
snipes.
sniping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd make like this crazy comp and all the casters would be like, I don't know what they're thinking. And then we would change the comp completely. And then they would get us confused with the other team half the time just because we changed the comp like instantly that I guess they didn't catch on to it. And so it would confuse them a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
No, I
Um,
definitely get that too.
yeah. But I remember that was what we thought was pretty funny with the casters was we were just confusing a lot of them at the time.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
do you have any closing things or anything that on your mind you wanna let the people know about the Goat
Not
Pounder
really.
and whatnot?
It's just more of like I'm glad like, you're getting really serious into the community. You know, you're doing podcasts now. I like seeing everyone in the community
Yeah.
really like step up to it becoming more official. AG is now doing his own thumbnails. He is looking to getting these sponsors to
It's
help
looking
support
really
them.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking good. I keep in contact with him on a personal level, on a community level. Like I see what people talk about. Teams are getting more and more serious. Teams drop in and out, but the ones who are committed stay and they get pretty far. And, that's what I really like about this community is just seeing everyone step up to what they want to do in their hobbies and interests and passions. And it becomes very clear, that the community is getting, it's one of the strongest ones. Like I'm part of the other tournament communities that are on PlayStation for Overwatch and other things. And I think that AG is definitely the most concrete put together. Like I feel like there's a little bit of flaws here and there, but they're working them out ever so slowly. Like every single update that they have, they iron something out and get something accomplished. So that's what I like, is just seeing, it
Yeah.
progress and not just come to a stalemate where it's the same thing over and over again. They find ways to keep it fresh. Like I thought of the 3v3 tournament, pitched it to AG, and they did it. Like fun
Yep.
stuff. They do fun stuff. They do real tournaments. They do the league. So I just think it's really cool to see everyone working together and just like doing everything well and doing what they love.
No, that's always it's always great to see. It'll be really interesting to
Yeah.
see how it evolves from here and what the future
Yeah.
holds for this. But
And I
yeah.
agree completely.
Thanks for showing up today, Goat Pounder.
Yeah, man.
We're definitely
Appreciate
gonna
you
get
having
some.
me.
We're definitely gonna have some more people on. But this will conclude our other episode of TeamWatch. You can watch the previous episode on AG's channel, where I talk about Blue Ninja and whatnot. We'll see who we'll see who we interview next.
All right.
But
Take
anyway,
it easy.
yep. Am I doing this right? I'm doing this right. Okay. Stop the broadcast. 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 Stop the